Hi Aquarius, welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for November 2019. For you Aquarius, we're looking at lots of activity in your 10th house with a Mercury retrograde period and a very nice transit of Venus through your 11th house of friends and some other stuff. Hey Julia, what have you noticed for Aquarius this month?
Well, hey, Aquarius. First, I'd like to talk about Venus, and she's the planet of art, beauty, relationships, love. And you're going to like this month because on November 1st, she enters Sagittarius, which correlates with your 11th house. And the reason why you're going to like it so much is because, Aquarius, you really appreciate groups because you are the sign of groups. And the 11th house really correlates with that. So when Venus is going through here, it means you're going to be getting out there and spending a lot of time with your friends or any other type of broader groups you're affiliated with, whether it's professional associations or recovery groups. And you're really going to get a lot of pleasure from that because Venus just makes everything enjoyable. And then on November 25th, when she goes into the sign of Capricorn, she'll be going into your natal 12th house. And then all of that socializing for the first few weeks of the month, you're probably just going to want to take it easy, spend a little bit more time on your own. Because Venus is the planet of pleasure, you'll be enjoying more time on your own. Venus is also a planet which can symbolize money too, and the 12th house also has a very strong charitable aspect to it. So you might want to be spending money on sort of charitable or bigger causes that are sort of beyond yourself and outside of yourself too, when that transit is going on.
Way to
And then
spread that universal love around.
Oh yeah, all those groups and causes you're into. And then Mars is going to be in the sign of Libra when the month begins, which correlates to your natal ninth house. And the ninth house is Jupiter's house, planet of learning, expansion, also fun and adventure. So that means, again, you're going to want to be getting out there and really putting your drive and your focus on having some adventures. You might feel a little bit stir crazy. If someone's trying to confine you or limit your freedom in any way, when that Mars is in the ninth house, you're just going to want to sort of break free of it. And then Mars enters Scorpio on November 18th, which is your natal 10th house, and that's the house of career. So it's a really good time for getting a lot of stuff done at your job because Mars is where we have our energy. But it's also not the easiest transit for getting along with bosses because you know what? Mars likes to be his own boss. So you might run into a little conflict over there, but nothing that you can't handle if you aren't aware of it. So what else is going on this month, Jamie?
Well, we have a Mercury retrograde period in Scorpio, and that, as you have pointed out, is the 10th house for Aquarius. Now, when Mercury is retrograde, there is this tendency for messages to get misconstrued, for office machinery to break down, for communications to go awry in many different forms. And when that happens on the job in the arena of career, then, it can be pretty dicey. So the solution is always to be open to those clearing conversations, those, let's go back and fix that thing that wasn't done right in the first place kind of conversations. And definitely my advice is do not sign any contracts in the month of November. It's just not a good time for signing anything because Mercury rules contracts, and the tendency would be for those to have something wrong with them that wasn't apparent the first time and to require to be redone. So now, as in the middle of the month, as Mercury is cruising along retrograde or backwards, as you may know, the sun is moving forward at the same time, and they meet in the middle for something that I like to call Epiphany Day, which is a day of insight, aha, and understanding. So that, if things got all tangled up during Mercury retrograde, that can be a day when clarity descends and you get the answer to the puzzle you've been knocking your head against for some weeks. So that is on the 10th and the 11th. And then on the 12th, we have a full moon in Taurus, which falls in your fourth house and opposite to the sun and Mercury in your 10th house. And the lunations this month have something in common with each other, which is really nice, and that is that they both have all harmony and very little stress in them. And so this particular one, I've been thinking, is characterized by the possibility of experiencing catharsis, and it doesn't even have to hurt. So if some of those conversations that you're having at work have got you down, are making you feel vulnerable, are making you feel like a loss is imminent, something is on the horizon that you're not looking forward to, then go home and relate with the people at home and find peacefulness, stability, and comfort um, in your own home life. And that's what can happen during that full moon. Now, when we experience moons, we certainly experience them during the day of, which in this case is the 12th, I'm pretty sure. Yep. But also, we'll feel them the day before and the day after as well. So it's just a good couple of days for getting cozy at home and letting the peacefulness of that and the solidity of that balance out any chaos that may be going on the work front. Now, there's another moon happening this month, later on in the month, on the 26th, and that's a new moon in Sagittarius, which is your 11th house, as Julia pointed out. This is the house that you like the best because it's the social arena, and you are the tribal person. So when the sun and moon meet in a conjunction, that's what a new moon is, and it's a time of planting seeds of new beginnings. In this particular case, it being in Sagittarius, I've been calling this the last party moon before winter, because Sagittarius is a sign of such joy and such exhilaration and such hope. And it's a sign season that comes as the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting longer. So it's a time when we huddle together, and who is better to do that with? Gather around that campfire of hope than friends. And so that this is happening in your house of friends is super appropriate, and just suggests that this is a great month to gather people together for the purposes of mutual understanding and tolerance under the umbrella of shared ideas and beliefs and values. And you could make some great contributions this month, Aquarius, by forming those kinds of gatherings and attending them. So, Aquarius, if you thought that you might be interested in a reading at this time and you're feeling the pull of that, and you were to ask me what kind of reading you should get, I would say that you couldn't do better than to get a career reading in a month like this. In a month where Mercury is passing through that 10th house, stirring up all kinds of potential resentment and bitterness and unspoken communications amongst people at work, which you then could have the opportunity to help people clear up and mediate in groups and help people to find understanding. It's a great opportunity. And if you wanted to examine that in a sit down conversation with a real astrologer, well, then here we are. And we'd love to do that with you. And I think that's all we have today for your horoscope, Aquarius. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You will always find our horoscopes on pandoraastrology.com/horoscope, and you'll find them gathered together in a playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. And you'll also find the news of the month gathered together in a playlist there on YouTube as well. And we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.